So today's verse is Matthew 6:34, which says, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient is the day Sufficient for the day is its own trouble." Perhaps you are concerned about your future, your relationships, or your finances. Or perhaps you are simply a worrier by nature. That would be me. If so, choose to take Matthew 6:34 a re- choose to make Matthew 6:34 a regular part of your daily Bible reading. This beautiful verse will remind you to live in day tight compartments and leave everything else up to God. When we face the inevitable difficulties of life here on earth, God stands ready to protect us. Our responsibility, of course, is to ask Him for protection. When we call upon Him in heartfelt prayer, He will answer in His own time and according to His own plan, and He will heal us. And while we are waiting for the Lord's plan to unfold and for His healing touch to restore us, we can be comforted in the knowledge that our Creator can overcome any obstacle, even if we cannot. Martin Luther has a quote that says, "Pray and let God worry." And then Sarah Young has a quote that says, "Do not worry about tomorrow. This is not a suggestion, but a command." And I think that this is really, really important to talk about because I know a lot of us feel worried all the time. We all deal with anxiety in some way, shape, or form. I know for me, if I'm not worried about something, I go out of my way to find something to be worried about. But that's not how God intends for us to live. He says multiple times, bring your worries and your burdens and your anxiety, lay them at my feet. He can take anything and make it into not an obstacle, but a triumph. So, going to go ahead and read our prayer here. So if you guys don't mind, close your eyes, bow your heads, get into your prayer posture. Dear Lord, when I am fearful or worried or anxious, help me trust you more. Let me trust your promises and let me live courageously this day and every day. Amen.
Amen. You know what I think is crazy, honey, that I was just thinking about?
Mm-hmm.
Is that every single one of these devotions that we have done so far, whatever it's about, we had succumbed to that day.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like today, I've been worried all day. That's why I just got out, did the lawn. Like
Yeah.
you've been worried, and I mean, we do different things whenever we're worried, right? But it's just crazy.
I think, at the end of the day, it's God putting this book in our lives, knowing that we were going to be going through stuff that we would need it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I'm here to share it with everybody in chat, I'm also reading it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's easy for us to hide behind a mask, as you and I would say, and be like, "Oh no, everything's fine over here. We're hunky dory. We're living it up." But in reality, Miss Krugs and I, we struggle with anxiety and fear and depression just like anybody else. And I've getting a little bit into my history. I've been diagnosed with severe anxiety and severe depression, and I think that my biggest struggle is this balancing act between going to God and laying it all out and praying and things will work out and trusting in that versus feeling like, oh, I got this, I'm going to figure out a way out of this, right? And it's not about me. It's never been about me. I don't create the solutions. God creates the solutions, and He puts me on the path to fulfill those solutions, right?
Right.
It's never I figured out a way out of this situation. He did and
Well,
put me in that.
oftentimes, if you look back at our situations whenever we did try to handle it ourselves,
We made it
oftentimes,
worse.
yeah, we made it worse. So, yeah. I think it's one of those things. One thing that I was reminding myself last night whenever my mind was racing, and just today too. And I said this prayer, and it's like, I need to remember to follow my heart because God is in my heart, and
Hmm.
the enemy attacks through my brain. Like the enemy's not in my heart at all. Does that make
No.
sense?
Yeah, that
So as
absolutely
long
makes
as
sense.
I am listening to my heart, I know that I am listening and I'm following according to like his plan and what he wants.
That's
But the
actually really
enemy,
beautiful. That's really, really good.